Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do, well, not much of an unboxing, but more like a, one of the many leftovers. That sounds bad, but that's not what I mean. A lot of, things that I haven't opened and unpacked that are still lying around here, and, it's going to pile up. So I'm doing, a little bit one by one. I have two others, also still one with the Catwoman series that volume 2 by Jim Bellum, by the way. There's still some wrapped up in plastic like this. Also, so we're gonna open this up, plus what stuff that I'm lying here on this side and on this side, because I'm also gonna show you some manga. But before we're gonna do that, let's open. Well, I'm gonna showcase something that you haven't probably seen on indie unboxing, or did I? I'm not sure. I'm a little bit rambly today. I have a strange day at work. But we're not talking about work, we're talking about fun. And fun is comics. I'm putting this aside and gonna. Alright, and then we're gonna start with Spider-Man against Carry On. So this is the 90s and this is an 80s, also with Carry On. I believe this is one of the first appearances, maybe the first appearance, but I'm not entirely sure. But, I mean, 90s, 80s, just great. Well, this one, I already have this, I believe. With Moon Knight, Web of Spider-Man, more Web of Spider-Man, Spirits of Vengeance, crossover between, there's also a Ghost Rider comic with these two in it, so this is some kind of a crossover, and this is Part 1, yeah. And the very first Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man #1 against the Tarantula. The original Tarantula, by the way. Right? Because this guy has a tragic future. If I have all the books, I want to showcase this. But we can open this up. Let me put this aside. The Tarantula. I believe he's Mexican, right? And he has not only poison. It's not feet, but you know what I mean. Pointy stuff that is poisonous, but also, I believe later on, in his hands. He's some kind of an acrobat martial artist fighter, Yeah, it looks fun. Let me do a couple of. In the later issue, does he has a mustache here? I believe so, but no, not in here. But later on, ads, a lot of ads. All right, that's where I leave it because there's more ads, and this is a cool shot. Okay, #1. I'm very proud of that. Cost me a pretty penny, but it doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, it does matter, but it really depends on if you want to. It's not the highest quality, right? It's not a perfect, but it's a #1 of a series that I really enjoy. So you're going back into the back. We have a classic X-Men against Arcade. I believe this is Arcade. We can open this up maybe. Against the Shadow King. Sunfire. This is the X-Men where that I grew up with. Really good. Now this is an interesting pose here because right? This is definitely has Arcade in it. Wait a minute, is this a follow-up? To 260. No. Okay, let's open this up. Oh man, I remember these stories. So I believe there was a two-parter, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Oh, Miss Locke. Yeah, she's serving Arcade. And Arcade is basically working together with Dr. Doom, right? Cool. I love these classic X-Men. Yeah. I think this is where I mean, look at this art, man. Looks freaking awesome. More ads. Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, so they've been trapped by Arcade. I want to say spoiler, but this comic is so old, by the way. I mean, it's not really a spoiler anymore. Unless you are just like me, want to collect all the comics and want to dig in all these other older comic books, which I wholly recommend, by the way. So we're gonna now open up these, well, almost opened. Yeah, I can rip it out. I'll see what's inside because I still haven't looked into it because I thought, you know, this is cool for an unboxing. Let's start with Superman. Oh, wait a minute. This is all Superman, by the way. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. I bought a lot of Superman for, you know, $1 or $1.50. Right? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? What's this? Is it the Cro-Magnon Superman? Cat Grant, another underrated reporter. We don't hear much of her. Oh, it got me also a classic X-Men here. Cool. I'm gonna put it over there. Wait a minute, I have more X-Men. Let's start with the Superman first. Fight the power. Fight the power with me. Okay. I forgot the black symbol event with the, you know, it's not yellow, it's black. There was something about it. I forgot somehow. Not sure why. Okay. Oh, I like this. Look at this. Superman Green Lantern. Covered by Walter Simon, I'm pretty sure. Where's his signature? It must be here somewhere. I mean, it looks like Walter Simon's, but this is not his signature. Okay. I cannot find it. Oh, well, maybe I just missed it, but I'm pretty sure this is Walter Simonson's art. Yeah. A lot of Superman comics. Probably I never ever gonna read all of them, just a couple of them. And oh yeah, got me some Spider-Man with the very ugly black cat costume. I got a Hulk, you know, gray Hulk. I mean, Joe Fixit. We're gonna do a Hulk tomorrow, I guess. You know, the Immortal Hulk, and we're gonna continue the story. I'm looking forward to it, but also not, because, you know, I said it many times, a quote-unquote love-hate relationship with L. Ewing's writing. Not this one, by the way. But, yeah. Okay. So I'm putting this aside, and I am going... I really like this one. This is a book with Nightcrawler in it. I mean, before they retcon his... oh, this is an annual, by the way. Before they retcon his origin for, I don't know, for the second or third time, I'm not sure. But this is basically, I think, the, I'm not sure origin, but it has a lot of background where he came from and how he is. And it has to do with a sorcerer, or sorceress. The art is really, really good. Skipping. So yeah, so this is Margali of the Winding Road, who is responsible for this. It looks great, man. I mean, if you get a hold of these books, again, just get it. So basically, they're going to hell. Let's say Dunton's Inferno. I mean, that's you know, it has different, how do you say, rings where they start and how they end, right? Looks great. In my opinion, of course. Yeah, fantastic. Cerberus, we have here. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a spoiler, I guess. But basically, they need to return Nightcrawler or save the soul of Nightcrawler or something like that. Yeah? But they're going farther and farther and deeper into hell. And yeah, a lot of great stuff. Now, it says here, I believe this is her sister lover or something. His sister lover, mother. Yeah. Okay, she's basically connected. Or is maybe not the origin, but maybe this is a totally different story between the love of a daughter and him. Again, it's been... You know, it's a book from the 80s. What do I know? What does it say? Oh, about her son. That he probably... Oh, yeah. So basically, something happened to her son. And she is holding him accountable for what happened. Friends become enemies, etc. Yeah, I'm going to spoil the thing. It doesn't matter. But on the other hand, we can also do a video about it. I mean, although I spoiled the whole thing now. But for in the future, you know, we gotta talk about it. Okay. Now, I showed you most of the books that I already have, but I also have manga. First of all, I start with a new Junji Ito called MOAN. This is the newest as far as I know. They always come in hardcover. I like Junji Ito, but at some point how do you say? Most of the Junji Ito stuff or storytelling is similar, samey. It's not really horror, but it is on the border of horror. I mean, there is some gruesome stuff in here, but mostly it's just unsettling and weird and stuff like that. But pure horror, no, I don't think it's not. But I like Junji Ito because what I like about it is, among other things, that it has great art and sometimes compelling and sometimes weird stories that goes absolutely nowhere, just stops in the middle of the story and then, that's it, is the fact there is no source of indication. There's no indication is this is in the future or is this in the past or in the now, because there is you don't ever see guys with computers and social media and looking on their phones. So it gives me basically the sense that, Junji Ito can go anywhere when it comes to these stories. It seems like this could be in the 60s, 70s, or 80s even. But you never see very modern stuff in here, which I really appreciate, because the last thing I want to see is, people constantly looking at their phone. It's just more, high school people, high school, girls and guys and, oh, good God. And sometimes older people that is getting, happens something horrible to them. But like I said, it's just mostly stuff like this and sometimes a little bit body horror. And it gives you basically the creeps. I believe that's the best word how I can describe it. I mean, and it's all unexplainable. Like, X-Files is probably, if you haven't seen the series, the X-Files with Mulder and Scully. Oh, man, just watch that. Also a lot of unexplained phenomenon, mostly horror-related, unsettling, interesting. Yeah, stuff like this. What? Okay, so MOAN, this is the newest one. I also have something totally different. It's called Cat's Eye. So Cat's Eye, as far as I know, or the offer, that is, how you spell it? Tsukasa Hojo. This is almost 600 pages, by the way. He did also City Hunter. Now, City Hunter, from what I've read, spawned TV shows, movies, and manga, anime. I didn't know that. So I have to check this out. And this is our completely new released stuff from the 80s, and which immediately caught my attention. It's printed on newspaper stock. Newspaper, yeah, newsprint, newsprint. You immediately can smell the newsprint in here. It's about three girls that have, somewhere in the city has a bar, but at night they are basically burglars, stealing, expensive stuff from museums, etc. And they also always leave their calling card behind for, the police to figure it out, which gives it a sense of, some fun tug of war. They try to figure out who the cat burglars are, who the cat's eyes are. I'm not sure how they are. Probably they don't call themselves cat's eye, but maybe the cat's eye burglars or something like that. And the girls are trying to evade the police, right? But there's a twist here that one of the detectives has a relationship with one of the girls, but they don't know that, or she does that, because she gets the information from the detective, but not the other way around. And I'm a big sucker for 80s manga art or something. Probably, like I said, I grew up. Well, really grew up is not really the right word, but I wish we had as much manga and anime back then than now. I mean, we have way more access to manga and anime, and I really, really like that. So I'm more interested how the stories are in the past, because I have also got modern manga that I really like, and sometimes not so much, but mostly I do. I believe 95% of the manga that I have is good. I have probably 3 books that I'm not really interested in, but for the most part, I like that. But especially the older stuff, like Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind, who also has a movie. But since I have now the, let's say, collector's box editions, the anime is only 1/3 of the whole series, and there's way more stuff after that, which I really like. I didn't know that, so that's why I'm picking up these older books and then, compare it to the newer stuff. Because Cat's Eye, I didn't know, but a buddy of mine told me that Cat's Eye has now an anime, and it's a new one, like new. So I'm gonna check that out, and maybe it's a retelling of this, what's happening in here, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm also not sure this is a one-shot. Well, one shot, 600 pages, or that maybe there is a Cat's Eye Volume 2 coming out. I'm not sure. I have to look out for that. Speaking then of older manga, there's some action here, cool, too. Yeah, so, okay, I appreciate the older one, just like Fist of the North Star, who is really becoming one of my favorite manga to read, the most masculine. Thank you, Mike, for recommending that to me. Yeah. All right. Next up, or basically the last one, is something that is completely new to me. Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin by Yosukazu Yasuhiko. I hope I say that correctly. And this is a nice, very square, thick boy. So there's a couple of them in here. I know there is an oversized edition coming out, or is already out, that collects the, I believe the 3-in-1. But I did some comparison videos. Somebody showed the comparison between these ones and the collected oversized editions. The oversized editions is bigger, other paper stock, I believe, and quote unquote cheaper. This has cost me $25, I believe. Yeah, around 25. So if you're gonna collect these all, then it costs you way more money, but it looks way better on the shelf because there we have I have only one, so I cannot show you the others, but they have similar art styles. Well, the oversized edition is just a blue, big blue hardcover. This is also a hardcover, by the way. And then with a Mobile Suit Gundam on the front. But it's all in blue, right? Except for the lettuces, I believe it's white. But for the rest, it's all blue. This has a nice, I mean, it feels nice. It has color. And so I decided to collect this one, right? First of all, also because the oversized edition is very heavy. You can compare it to the Berserk editions. Let me check. Just I'm gonna show you a little bit of a comparison. Okay, so let's say this one, right? So this is a Berserk Deluxe Edition. I probably need to zoom it out, but you can see how is this big, right? And the manga here. Well, yeah, okay. Well, I believe the oversized edition, when it comes to height, and I have to do it right. So here, you can see, I mean, visual looks weird, but because, okay, let me do it like this. You can see how big it is, right? So this is basically the comparison of the other one. Now I'm rambling about, as always, about other collector's editions, and you probably are very not interested in manga or whatever, but I'm just, explaining why I made the decision to get this version. I have zero, but absolutely zero, almost 400. What I'm trying to say, I have zero knowledge about Gundam, but I am always interested in that because still to this day, and this has a very smooth, nice paper, everybody still talks about Gundam, right? It's still the pinnacle of, I mean, that's what they say, and I believe them, the pinnacle of, science fiction manga. Again, this is, the original, not news, all reprinted, and I'm glad we have now the chance to to read it. I have zero knowledge about where the story is going, so this is only my first one. I'm gonna check it out and see if it's actually good, but I probably like it, because I'm a sucker for space stuff. That's the problem, that you have too broad of a taste like me. I have so many genres that I like, that sometimes it's hard for me to, figure out what do I really like. The problem is I like all of them, and I really mean that. It's not something that, I like this a little bit, I like that a little bit. No, I really like them. And the problem is that I always want to, discover something new, something fresh, especially something old that, like I said, normally I wouldn't get my hands on, but now I can. And everybody that I spoke to about Gundam, they all praised, the original anime. They grew up with that, the manga. Although it's not pretty, it's detailed, don't get me wrong. But if you can compare it to a lot of other manga, it feels more, maybe because of the color tones, it's very grayscale. Well, normally you have way more black in manga, right? So more heavy black. This leans a little bit more to more grayscale than black. And then there's also some, I believe, a cool protagonist, a guy with a helmet on. Look at these colors, man. These colors looks nice. Especially when manga, I mean, this guy with a helmet. I'm not sure if this is the bad guy or something, but I assume he is. But yeah. I like that they are also putting some color additions in here, just, giving a sample to the reader from, hey, this is how it looks like. Still enough black, but with black I mean more in the characters and the art itself, because it's basically just white, let's say art, with white, and then they put grayscale on it and then black around it. Well, let's say, for instance, if I go back to totally different book, by the way. Totally different style. You see there is way more, well, way more use of, this is Berserk, by the way, way more use of heavy black with grayscale. I mean, the art is freaking phenomenal. So yeah, I'm still collecting these. I know there is another. I'm going overboard with this, right? Because this is not what we're talking about. But when it comes to color, it's not really color, but grayscale, black and white. This is totally different. Has way more detail instead of Mobile Suit Gundam. As you can see here, it misses some texture. It's probably the right word. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see where this goes. I'm very interested in this. Oh, wow. It's a lot of reading for... Look at these color pages, man. It looks great. Anyway, so yeah, this is my unboxing, not so unboxing. Guys, I hope you like the video. Please leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I see you next time. Bye-bye.